friends. Welcome back to incredibly useful exercises for the double bass, where we condition specific aspects of our performance in short, stolen moments. Thank you for joining me today as we explore my favorite left-hand gimmick. It's an easily learned gimmick that has uses at all levels, from creative accompaniments for Book 1 and 2 songs, all the way to the concerti of Bottesini, Dragonetti, and others. Today, we explore the gimmicks involved in Virtuoso Arpeggios. I want to thank Joey Nager for his generous support of this series. Joey has been my go-to luthier for over 5 years. He sculpted my fingerboards buzz-free on both my 1850 English orchestra bass and my solo bass, making them so easy to play, and his tone work on my basses keeps them sounding full, free, and beautiful. Many professional working bassists throughout Texas rely on Joey for fixing and maintaining their treasured instruments. The Joey Nager prize-winning basses are also wonderful instruments. Please visit Joey's website listed below, and if you happen to be in the Houston area, pay him a visit to play his basses and to see how he can improve the playability and tone of your instrument. Virtuoso Arpeggios is 3 minutes long, has a high control rating of 5, mindfulness, velocity, and coordination are 3, expression is 1, and power and endurance are 0. We play this for the exercise and mastery of common and useful 3-octave arpeggio patterns in D major, G major, and A major. These arpeggios are my favorite gimmicky patterns in my repertoire. They're common in concert showpieces because they have a high wow factor for the audience. I also love using them as a teacher to accompany my students in their Book 1 solos, which tend to be in D major and only have 3 chords. They're a lot of fun, and while they look difficult, they're easy to understand when you realize that while each arpeggio has 10 notes, only 3 notes are actually pressed down. All the other notes are either open strings or harmonics, so they're guaranteed to be in tune. There's really nothing profound about these patterns, but it does help to break them down into small bites. The full Virtuoso Arpeggio exercise is actually in section C, the very last one. It's very short, only about 20 seconds, and once you learn it, you'll really only be playing the last part. Sections A and B are simply there to isolate the movements and learn the exercise. Here's the actual exercise, section C. So now let's break it apart and see how it works. The arpeggios take place in only 3 different positions: 3rd, 4th, and 6th. So I can see what it feels like by playing 4 notes: D, A, D, and D. D, D, A, D. Watch my arm movements: 2 shifts up and 2 shifts back. The only fingered note is A. All the other shifts go to harmonics, so you're sure to hit the right notes. Let's look at section A. These arpeggios focus on 1 octave at a time. The first line practices the shifts from 3rd to 4th positions. Make sure to bring your elbow out in 4th position and tuck it in when you shift back to 3rd position. Not much to know here, except to make sure to use small bows for each note. Resist the temptation to speed up the bow during the shift. Here's line 1 without repeats. The second line conditions the notes in 4th position, and here's where the gimmick happens. It's 1 quick motion that helps propel the arm up into 6th position. First, let's practice dropping down the first finger on F sharp, a major 3rd away from the thumb. Do this until it gets comfortable. For this pattern, I find it much easier to drop the first finger with a collapsed knuckle. I know this is a controversial mechanic for bass players, but this is what works for me. I encourage you to try other methods if you'd like, and if you find one that works better, then by all means use it. So now let's practice dropping down the first finger after the third finger harmonic. This is tricky. Do this until it gets comfortable. I still have to do these little drills before I play these arpeggios, since the first finger is the most unreliable finger in this whole exercise. So now for the incredibly useful mechanic. After I place the first finger down, I draw my thumb up to meet the finger. That's it. You'll see me do this in each measure from here on out. When you see the asterisk in the music, remember to draw the thumb forward. This adds momentum to the throwing motion up to the sixth position in section B. And lastly, for the top note in this line, I use a fork technique where I place my fourth finger right across from my third finger. And that's it for the second line. Here's what it sounds like, again, without repeats. Line 3 conditions the sixth position notes. There's no gimmick at all here. If you're new to sixth position, I recommend watching and studying the video on the sixth position harmonic songs first. If you know sixth position, these will come easy. Just make sure to play the harmonics with small bows in the upper half. And that's it for section A. Section B conditions the shifts between the positions by playing 2-octave arpeggios. The first line is the arpeggios in third and fourth positions, and the second line is in fourth and sixth. Use the same skills and fingerings we conditioned in line A. Here's line B, the first line. You'll want to spend some extra time on the second line since it contains that one extra mechanic with your thumb. Remember to use small bows for these triplets. Resist the temptation to increase the bow speed during the shift and in sixth position. Also, remember to stay in the upper half of the bow. Finally, line C puts it all together. For the last line with the dotted half notes, I don't count the rhythm. I just play the last 5 notes at some medium speed. So to recap, after you've learned the fingerings, use small controlled bows on the triplets and bring the thumb forward to meet the index finger in fourth position when going upwards. Before I play, I plan my recovery strategy because once I start, I don't let any mistake or fatigue stop me, just like in live performance. I remember that I tend to increase the bow speed during shifts and in sixth position, so I'll take extra care to keep the bow speed steady. Also, I know that the first finger in fourth position is problematic, so if it doesn't land right, which it might not sometimes, I won't let it bother me, and I'll just continue. If it's a big problem, I'll exercise it later. Okay, let's play the whole exercise with repeats. When you play this in stolen moments, you can choose any or all letters that you feel you need to improve. I don't play it with a metronome. I aim for around 70, but feel free to increase the speed steadily when you're comfortable with it. And by the way, my solo bass is in solo tuning, so it's going to sound differently than your bass if it's in orchestra tuning. Okay, ready? 1 and 2 and ready, go. And those are the virtuoso arpeggios. Gimmicky, fun, and a huge wow factor. These arpeggios are common in the works of Bottesini and Dragonetti. If you're new to them, I know you'll find those arpeggios much easier after practicing this exercise. Remember the saying, repetition is the heart of learning. Play these arpeggios often, and over time they'll become second nature, feeling easy and lazy. Lastly, for you teachers, these arpeggios and their variations are useful in lessons to accompany all of the D major songs. They're also wonderful for mixed-level group classes and festivals. If you have a class that includes young players as well as advanced players, you can give the advanced players these arpeggios in any octave to accompany the Book 1 songs that the beginners play. This is a beautifully motivating and entertaining way to make fun arrangements of songs like Twinkle, Rhody, Lightly Row, and all the others. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you find virtuoso arpeggios as useful for your performance as it has been for mine. I present this in the way that I've used and benefited from it, and I never intend to say that it's the only way to practice or approach this concept. You can adapt any of these ideas to your style of curiosity, conditioning, or teaching. Practice this and all exercises in this series in short, stolen moments, or incorporate them into your regular conditioning routine. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and leave any questions, comments, observations, success stories, or suggestions below. Please check out the Incredibly Useful Exercises series of workout books available in paperback and ebook on the Amazon site in your country. I look forward to you joining me next time. Thank you, and be well, friends.